Greetings, welcome. Today we're taking a look at a court case that's been very significant in our lives. We're not really knowing it, but as a court case has kind of been not overlooked, not really looked at realistically. So today we're going to be exposing the real truth behind the famous and infamous Scopes monkey trial. So 1925 in the summer of 1925, the Scopes trial was held. But before that, just like foundation, the legislature of Tennessee had passed a law that was to forbid the teaching of the evolutionary concepts in the school systems. They did this for a number of reasons, but I'll take a look at those in a minute. So they decided not to want the school system to teach this stuff. So then handers in the school systems in the state, like Dayton, Tennessee, they had bought and biology books that taught evolution, and they were violating the law. So basically, they went to AUCLU, saw this as a chance to do what they want to do, promote atheism in school, promote their agendas. So the ACLU tried to find somebody to be patsy to bring this court case. Well, the real teacher of biology and evolution in a Dayton, Tennessee school was the principal. But he had a family and stuff. And they said, you can't use him because he has a family and stuff. It's not be good target of people's hates and stuff. So we got to find somebody else to be our puppet. So the ACLU try to find somebody that they can control, somebody that was easy to control, somebody to really they can say, well, we can do what we want to do. So that they found that in a guy named John Scopes. John Scopes was not a biology teacher, and did not understand evolution, did not understand biology. He taught what is in the book, and he was just basically a simple football coach. But to want to tell you about the book that was using the center of a whole thing was called Hunter Civic Biology. It was published by Hunter in 1914. Here is a copy, is exact copy of the same book they used in the school system back in 1920s. This book was the center of the book and center of the controversy teaching evolution schools. But you have to look at the book and see what's really being taught in the book. It's interesting that reason though probably outlawed teaching evolution in school system because the book taught eugenics, euthanasia, perfecting the human race through selective breeding, racism, the stuff. Basically, the books, like page 263 of the book, it said, if people talk about feeble-minded people, if such people were lower animals, we would kill them. So this book promoting racism, it's promoting hate, it's promoting killing people, euthanasia, eugenics, racial purity, racial purification. So that is a reason why that the state legislature did not want evolution taught school system, because evolution was not only about science, it's also about dealing with trying to perfect the human race through survival of fittest ideas. The other ways promoting such practices of euthanasia, eugenics, locking people up because they weren't perfect, making sure people don't interbreed and don't intermarry. Because if you're not a certain race type or type of intelligence, you should be locked up, or you should be not allowed to breed other people, and it should be maybe ultimately be killed. So the whole thing about this was talking about feeble-minded people need to be rooted out of society. This was one of the main driving forces behind evolution that people don't realize. Evolution is more about killing people and euthanasia and eugenics. That's why they want to promote the eugenics stuff, like Nazis, to make a superior human race. So the human race had to be perfected to survival into the next evolution along a ladder. So evolutionist idea is basically to do away with anybody that doesn't fit into the higher hereditary ladders. So this is one reason why legislature didn't want this taught in school systems. That's why they teaching stuff in the school system today is continuing of this philosophy and idea by teaching evolution in school systems today. We're continue teaching this stuff that's been pushed into the school systems. Now, started that being pushed in the school systems was in the summer of 1925 when the Scots monkey trial was held. Now, violating the law, or what they did in Tennessee, was punishable by a simple fine of $100. Now, the whole thing was a civil case. It should never have been brought into a court case. It was something very simple, civil case, shut and dried. But newspapers in Tennessee, and especially Dayton, Tennessee, they didn't want that. They wanted to understand Dayton, Tennessee was a small town, was a poor town. They needed money. So they wanted to make a big spectacular spectacle so they could make money and bring people into town. They wanted to move it. People wanted to move it. Lawyers move it out of town. They would no, we don't. We want it held in Dayton, Tennessee, because we need the money. So they, so during the trial in Dayton, Tennessee, they had souvenirs. You can buy plush monkeys and all kinds of stuff. It's like a circus event. So they made a lot of money on this trial. This whole one main reasons for this trial was push and promote atheism ideas and to make money. That's what the whole thing is about. Really was about. It really wasn't about creationism versus evolution. It was basically a money making scam, making more than anything else. So they try to frame it as evolution versus creationism because they can make money and to promote their ideology. Because a lot of people didn't want creationism taught in the school system because they didn't want morality taught in the school system because morality is limitation to people. So they started working on this trial, and the lawyers had the case going on. Then all of a sudden, an unscrupulous lawyer that had a dubious past, called Clarence Durrell, heard of this trial. He was a devout atheist, he claimed, and so he wanted to worm his way into this trial to promote atheism. He saw it as his chance to challenge the Bible, challenge stuff, and promote atheism, and take the Bible out of school and replace it with his idea of atheism. So he wormed his way out, and this unscrupulous lawyer was also put into this trial. Well, the whole summer it lasted for a while. There, people made a lot of money, and people count and make a big spectacular. By the end of the trial, of course, is the end of the trial was exactly what you think it would be. It's a simple court case of violating a state law. So the ending was exactly what it had been. It went to small court, like that would found him guilty, the school system guilty, and so John Scopes was found guilty, and he was fined $100, which the ACLU said that would pay, but I don't think they ever paid it. So this whole thing is talking about overcoming creationism and morality in a school system and pushing the agenda of evolution and atheism. See, the evolutionists and atheists lost this trial. It's a simple trial. They lost the trial, but because all the newspapers and all the writings and magazines, all the publicity kept coming in. So they kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and publicity. So eventually, this has been pushed into school systems. So to teach this agenda they wanted kids to have. They didn't want a morality. So So it's like this. If you have a society that's based on morality, you cannot control the society. People have morality. They can't be. They have a purpose and reason for the life. Now, evolution teaches the opposite. That you have, as a person, you have no value in your life. You are just a lower animal. So it's like this: such people were lower animals, would kill them. So evolutionists, you're a lower animal and you have no value. So they want kids to teach to know this so they can control them. Because if you have morality, you can't control people. But if you have no morality, then anything goes. You can be homosexual. You can have 345 genders. You can have all the things you want. It's all fantasy and imagination. So it's all convinced to be controlled by survival of the fittest. So it's all comes down to one simple thing: paganism versus morality. So that's how the whole thing comes down to. So you have to ask yourself, what are you going to follow, a path that you're going to follow in your life? Are you going to follow that from morality and God and the Bible? Or are you going to follow after Baal and paganism and all this fantasy stuff they're pushing in our lives? Now they tell you this is evolution is based on science, but there is no scientific ideas behind evolution. The whole history of evolution came from Baal worship and paganism. So we have to understand the roots of this idea. The very roots, the very foundation of all this stuff is found not in science, but in Baal and ancient gods. The same practices of Baal are the same practices that these people and survival of fit are pushing. So it's the same thing being pushed. See, evolution is not about science. It never has nothing to do with science. It's been there's a lot of scientific evidence about evolution has been faked, has fake science. For instance, the Piltdown Man was fake. The Lucy information was fake. A lot of this information they say evolution is based on proven as fact. It's all based on fake. It's fakery. It's all scam. It's all fake science. So you have to ask yourself, are we going to follow the world of fake science or real science? If you're going with real science, that God created the world and everything has a purpose and reason, and you as a person have value. You have value to God, you have a value to yourself, you have a value to society. Now, if you follow evolution, you have no value and you should be dead. That's all the difference. That's the difference we have to talk about. So, are you going to live your life like you have value? Or are you going to embrace the Bible and teachings of Christ? Or are you going to base the pagan religion of evolution and say humans have no value? So, this week you have a choice. But also consider this: you must seek God while He still may be found. Okay? Because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We have all these wars coming out, all this invasion stuff, and Israel and stuff, and Russia and Ukraine. We have wars and stuff coming out. This has all been prophesied in the Bible. So we have to understand the times we're living in. It's time to get right with God right now, today. So today is a day of salvation. May God be with you and peace in Christ.